Hi there, it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. This piece of pattern paper was calling out my name, and so today we are going to create a card base using 4 circles. Now this is a little bit different, but it's super easy and I really like how it turned out. So I'm going to use one navy piece of paper and then the pattern piece of paper as well, but you could use 4 of the same type of circles. And I'm also going to be using this set of circle dies, one in particular. But if you don't have dies, you could just trace around a circular shape and cut it out yourself. Then from here, we need to fold them all in half and make sure that they have a nice, good crease to them. So I've done 3 of them, and then this last one here, I'm just going to fold myself. I found it easier just to fold them like this rather than using my scoring tools, but whatever works for you is good. And then from here, this part is really simple. So you have all of your 4 circles, and you can see that I have that blue one with the fold facing vertical, and then the next one has it horizontal, and then the next one will go on top of that vertical, and then this one is going to slide over top of the right but underneath that left side. So you can see I'm just kind of slotting it in there. And then this part is easy too. You just close up one circle after the other, and then that one needs to go under one and over the other. So it's not that hard, it just makes a little square like that. And then I'm going to take some liquid glue and just hold it with my hand and slowly put it underneath each one of those curves. That is going to start the process of creating our card base. And then once you have done all 4 of these, I am going to flip over the card base that we've made. And then you should be able to untuck it all, and I'm going to add a little bit more glue to the inside. Now I feel like you could do this using double-sided tape and things, but honestly for the energy it would take me to work out which corner was going where and which one would be stuck down, I found it just as easy to use a little bit of liquid glue. And that is the main part of the card base, but I'm going to keep going here with a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of Nina Solar White, and I'm going to stamp that tree on the side just with some VersaFine Onyx black ink. Now I'm using a stamping tool so that I can stamp it a couple of times and get it nice and dark, but you don't need to do that. You can just use an acrylic block. Either will work fine. And then I'm going to use the second stamp set. This is a really old one, and I will link it down below in case you're interested. And I'm going to have that sending you love and best wishes, and then I'm going to use the on your birthday from that other little sentiment. So I'm going to stamp this one out first. And for me, I kind of like using something that will take up a little bit of space on the inside, because I don't usually like writing a whole heap on the inside of my card. So this works well for me. But then in that same stamp set with the tree, there is this tiny little bird, and I kind of wanted to add him into the tree a couple of times. So I'm just got an acrylic block, and I'm going to add a couple of little birdies, which I think just finishes off the inside. Then I'm going to flip it over and add a little bit of double-sided tape to all 4 sides, and then a little bit in the middle. And I just peel back one each of the corners. And this way it makes it really easy for me to line up on the inside of my card. I do the same when I'm adding layers to my normal kind of rectangular card bases as well. So you can see here I've got it all lined up, and this is my card coming together. So I pull out all of those little tabs, and you could definitely just leave it here, but I want to take it a little bit further. So I have a piece of craft colored cardstock here. Now this is much bigger than I need, and I'm just going to create a little kind of belly band. I want it to be this burlap ribbon, so I'm going to add a couple of strips of double-sided tape down here, because I want the belly band to be kind of more rigid than what the ribbon provides. So I've got 2 strips of this, and I know how wide my ribbon is going to be. Then I have these little kind of buckle embellishments from AliExpress as well, as is the burlap ribbon. I will have everything linked down below in case you're interested in any of these items. So the little buckle is going to go right in the very middle, and then I'm going to trim that little piece of cardstock. You could use a paper cutter or a guillotine, but I just quickly get the job done with my scissors. take off the release paper of that double-sided tape, and you can see where the two bends are that will go around my card. So I know where the exact center is going to be, which is where I want my buckle. And then I'm just going to pull the edges of the burlap ribbon down, cut the little part behind the buckle that you can see showing. And that is nearly complete. It's kind of coming along. You can see where the two folds are. I'm just going to reinforce those and then add a little bit of double-sided tape so that I can close up this belly band behind my card. So again, I'm just going to put it on, and remember that you don't want it too tight because you want it to be able to slip off nice and easy, but you do want it to also hold the card together. So I kind of really like that finishing touch, and you can see it all pulls out nicely. And then to put the card back together, you just follow around the circle and then tuck that wee one in as well. So I really like the idea of how the card base came together, just the 4 circles. It's so easy to achieve that really cool look, and you could kind of go to town using whatever pattern papers and colors that you have to use up. But the last thing that I want to do here is to create an envelope to go with it, because it measures 4.5 by 4.5 inches when it's all folded up. So I have my envelope maker here, and I'm going to make a 5 by 5 card. So I know what my paper size needs to be, and I have a piece of craft cardstock, which is the same one that I used for the belly band. And then I'm just going to follow the instructions of the 1, 2, 3 punch board, which just makes life a little bit easier when it comes to making an envelope, but you certainly don't need one. I do have an extra wee assistant helping me sitting on my knee here, so it was kind of made all the more fun by that. He really enjoyed pressing the button to make the little notches. And then I'm just going to reinforce these folds, and then I'm going to use the corner rounder, which is part of my board, just to finish off kind of the envelope. What I did want to do, just to make it a little bit more coordinating, is to have this little blue kind of part that's going to go inside the envelope, just to kind of finish that off. So my wee helper here is helping me add some tape to the inside of it, and that is going to stick down before I put the envelope all together. And he is also going to help me pull off all of those little tabs. They just looked really enticing for him to help out. So he does a good job of helping here. As I said, it doesn't matter what the inside looks like further down because you won't be able to see it. You just want to see that top kind of flap look nice and colored. So if I add a little bit more double-sided tape to this part, this is how I'm going to put all of my envelope together. And that is pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed this little bit different kind of style of card base. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.